Good evening. Well, good morning, whatever it is. Real quick, man. Real quick. You know I'm be trying to hold nobody, man. I'm gonna try to keep this one under 6 minutes if I can. Matthew, Matthew, chapter 10. I just want y'all to see this right quick with your own eyes. And you know me, I don't normally like to use the book because the book slow me down and to make it take longer. So I be trying to go off the top of my head and just tell y'all to Google it. But I feel like God told me to say this in particular because I was planning on teaching on something else today. Or whenever I got the chance to teach something else again, I was gonna do something else, but God told me, no, do this instead. That's the first time that ever happened to me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I put this same video on YouTube this morning, but I did a live feed and I ain't like that. So if you see that one, then you know it's like this one, but this one gonna be a little quicker. But like I said, it's the first time that happened to me, and I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? But I believe I understand why. But right quick, 10, Matthew chapter 10, verse 8. Instead, we're going to start at 5. It says, Jesus sent out these 12 after giving them instructions. So Jesus sent out the 12, you know what I'm saying? Right before that, you can see where it's talking about their names of the 12 apostles. But he told them, he said, as you go proclaim, the kingdom of heaven has come near. So he telling them, go out preaching. As you go, proclaim, the kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those with leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Freely you have received, freely give. Freely you have received, freely give. Now I'm putting this out there. Also, I want to say this too to make sure you understand. Okay, don't acquire gold, silver, or copper for your money belts. In other words, don't take no money with you. Don't take a traveling bag for the road, or an extra shirt, sandals, or a staff. For the worker is worthy of his food. In other words, you will be provided for. Provisions. You will be given provisions. Now, Jesus is making it perfectly clear the difference between provisions and charging. You understand? See that? And you know what? I had other verses that I was going to read, but that right there says it all. That right there says it all. I'm gonna look. We're gonna look at that again right quick. As you go, proclaim the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those with leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely you give. Don't acquire silver or copper or for your money belts. Don't take a traveling bag for the road or extra shirt, sandals, or staff. For the worker is worthy of his food. Freely you give, freely you receive, because the worker is worthy of his food. Preachers, stop charging people. Stop charging the church, man. Don't go out there and go write no book and say God gave you a vision and now you writing it in a book and now you charging everybody $39.95 plus shipping and handling for the book. Don't go out here saying God gave me a word and I'm gonna teach it in my Bible class. And you teaching Bible class online and charging members $25 for a month, and you got 10 members when your Wi-Fi only costs $10. See, somebody will provide for your Wi-Fi. That's a provision. You see what I'm saying? That's a provision. That's a difference between me going out here saying, you know, um, I'm about to go to this wedding and go preach, and I'm charging them $100 for me to come preach at the wedding. That's a difference between me doing that and me saying, hey, I'm a little hungry. Can I have some cake? You know, or can I get a little cake and a little water for the road and go about my business? You know what I'm saying? We need to stop preaching. Stop preaching that it's okay for us to charge these people out their money, man. You know, if we're gonna come out this virus and we plan on opening the church doors back up, then let's go in a little differently from the way we came out. You know what I'm saying? Freely you can't charge nobody for the prophecy God has given you, man. You can't take that same video where you just preached and you can't take that sermon you just preached and put it on a video or a CD or a cassette tape and sell it at $5, $7, and $10. You cannot do that, man. You cannot go to a funeral and charge somebody for preaching at their funeral, man. You cannot do that. That's a word that God has given you, so you have to give it for free. You cannot take these words, that joy that God has put on your heart, and put it in a song and sell a CD to millions of people and go out here and, get yourself a big profit off of God's music that He has given you to go out here and give to the people. You can't. We cannot. We as preachers cannot keep charging the church. Cannot keep robbing the church. We cannot keep doing this stuff and acting like it's okay, man. It has to stop. It has to stop. We already got a plague on the world right now, man. We don't need no more problems. So let's start, when we go back in the church, preachers, let's do this thing the right way and stop giving these people stop digging in folks' pockets. You know what I'm saying? Provisions. That's our obligation, and preachers have their obligation, which is to not charge for anything dealing with God. Now I'm gonna go and show this verse right quick. This is in John chapter 2. And this is John chapter 2, verse 16. Is this it? I believe this is it. So this is when Jesus walked up in the church, caught them dudes up there selling. The Jewish Passover, I'm going to start 13. Jewish Passover was near, so Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple, he found people selling oxen, sheep, doves. He also found the money changers sitting there. After making a whip out of the cords, he drove everyone out of the temple with their sheep and oxen. He also poured out the money changers' coins, overturned the tables. He told those who were selling doves, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace." It's the only time in the Bible you're going to see Jesus flash out. He went in there straight pissed off, got to whooping folks, man. He made a whip, got to beating folks, flipped the table, bro. He was cutting up. And he said, "Get these things out of here. Do not stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace." The church is not a place you're supposed to sell at, man. You can't sell your CD. You can't sell the service immediately after church on the church ground. You can't sell nothing off of the church ground. Stop having bake sales at the church. These big old churches that have these little stores where they sell coffee and food, again, copies of the sermon songs, they do all this stuff on the church grounds when Jesus said, "Stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace." Now, you're going to have that little smart preacher that's going to try to tell you, "Oh, that's not what this means." What does it mean, Pastor? Well, it means that as long as I'm taking money, as long as I'm putting the money back into the church, don't listen to these preachers, man. And preachers, we need to stop this, man. We need to stop all this foolishness, acting like these things are okay. It's not okay to charge people for God, for anything of God's, and it's not okay to charge people at the church. You cannot sell on church grounds. A marketplace is a place where you buy and sell. Jesus said, "Do not turn this house of God into a marketplace." Let's stop lying, man. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop lying to the church. It starts from the head and trickles all the way down to the toe. If the head of the church is corrupt, then the church is going to be corrupt. If we're going to come out this virus and we're going to open the church doors back up, and we're going to go back in this church and do this thing right, then let's do it the right way and start doing what this Bible say. Stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace. Now, I was going to show y'all one about provisions but I'm not gonna show you that one now because I think that Matthew already summed it up. I'm gonna show y'all one more, and I'm gonna let it go, man. I'm gonna let it go. First Timothy chapter 6, chapter 6, verse 5, is it? Chapter 6, verse 5, is it? Is it? Yes, 5 through 10. It says, and constant disagreement among people whose minds are depraved and deprived of the truth, who imagine that godliness is a way to material gain, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out. If we have food and clothing, we will be content with these. But those who want to be rich fall into temptation, a trap, and many foolish and harmful desires which plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, and by craving it, some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves in many griefs. Now, preachers be wondering how they lose their churches or how they end up gaining so much and lose their own soul because we so focused on money, man. So let's stop tricking these people, bro. Stop charging people for books. Stop charging people to teach class. Stop selling things on the church grounds. Stop with charging for funerals, for the weddings, whatever it is out here. Do not charge these people. There are things that preachers are obligated to do, like give this word for free. And us as people, we are obligated to bring our full tithes to the church so that the church needs may be met. The people in there, the church, the people, the poor, their needs can be met by us bringing our full tithes to the storehouse. But the preacher, all this preacher right here say all he need is food and clothes. That's all he need. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference between provision and charging folks, man. And that's all I got to say on it. I'm going to close my book on it right here. Is that if we're going to go back in this church, man, we need to go back out here and we need to do this thing the right way. We need to do this thing the right way so we can experience the fullness of Christ, the fullness of God, the fullness of the Holy Spirit, the fullness of His blessings. We can get all this stuff in fullness if we go back out here and we teach this Bible correctly. Like I said, God put it on my heart to put this here. I've said some of these things before. But I'm closing my book. That's all I got for y'all. I love y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.